Hello, good morning student. Today is our third chapter, translocation of organic solute. This is the first part of this topic, and in this part we are learn about the path of translocation, evidences for phloem transport. Okay, and for that purpose Munch hypothesis, important hypotheses are also discussed here. Let us see one by one. First one is the definition. What is meant by translocation of organic solute? Organic solute, the movement of organic food material or the solute in soluble form from one place to the another in higher plant is called as the translocation of organic solute. Here in higher plant, the photosynthesis takes place predominantly in the mesophyll tissue of the leaves and sometimes green cell of young stem. And the photosynthesis, that means the photosynthetic material, that is nothing but the organic food material, they are required by all living cell of non-photosynthetic part for various purposes. In order to achieve it, translocation of organic solute takes place, and solute translocation, they are of three types, out of which first one is the downward translocation, second one is the upward translocation, and third one is the radial translocation. Before that, the translocation of organic solute is the process. In short, it is the process of movement of the organic food material from the leaf. Okay, because photosynthesis can be takes place in the leaf, and the organic food material are synthesis in the leaf. From leaf to the different part of the plant, that is known as the translocation of organic solute. This translocation of organic solute can be takes place by three methods. First one is the downward translocation, upward translocation, and radial translocation. In downward translocation, mostly the organic food material is manufactured by leaves. Okay, food material, it is manufactured by the leaves and is translocated downward to the stem and the root for consumption of the storage. In this way, it is the downward movement of the organic food material from leaf to the root. Okay, so it is known as the downward translocation of food material. Okay, second one is the upward translocation. It takes place mainly during the germination of the seed. Here the tubers etc. when stored food after the being converted into a soluble form is supplied to the upper growing part of the young seedling till it has developed green. So this is the second. At the time of seed germination, the food material which is present into the seed, when the plumule is germinate, when from plumule the shoot is germinated, that means it is a translocate of the food material from the seed toward the uppermost part. Okay, so it is known as the upward translocation. In some cases, the radial translocation is also there. Radial translocation of organic solute also takes place in the plant from the cell of the pith. Okay, from the cell of the pith to the cortical region, and it is the radial. Okay, pith, it is the centermost part, and from pith toward the cortical region, the translocation can be takes place, and it is known as the radial translocation. Next part is the path of translocation. Let us see in this diagram. This is the internal structure of the stem and or phloem. Here the different part of phloem is there, because translocation of food material takes place only from the phloem. Okay, xylem is responsible for the water translocation, and the food organic food material can be translocated with the help of phloem region, and that phloem having different cell. Let us see here. This is this dotted sieve like structure, that is known as the sieve plate. Okay, this structure is known as the sieve tube. Okay, after that, this is the phloem parenchyma, and finally it is the companion cell. Companion cell, they are intermediate cell between the sieve tube and phloem parenchyma. In this way, this is the structure of the phloem. This is the one part. Here again the sieve plate are there. Okay, in this way, cell by cell, the sieve plate attach with each other, and a complete phloem canal can be formed here. And the translocation of the organic food material can be takes place through this phloem canal only. There are the two main translocatory tissues present in the plant, xylem and phloem. Both these tissue differ morphologically and physiologically. Among the xylem is involved in the upward movement of water and inorganic solute. Harting, he is a scientist, in 1837 for the first time gave the anatomical and physiological description of the tissue involving in the translocation of organic compounds. And Curtis et al., he believed that both upward and downward translocation of the organic food material or the solute takes place through the only phloem. Okay, and our latter translocation through the medullary rays, which is present in the internal section. The xylem, we know that the xylem is a dead tissue and involved in the ascent of sap, so naturally organic solute can be translocated through the xylem is not possible. Okay, and the cell of pith, cortex or the ground tissue, they are also not suitable for the solute translocation. Thus, phloem is the only component that remains only the tissue which can be involved in the organic solute translocation, and it can be proved by the various experiments also. The phloem as a food conducting tissue has been supported by many workers such as the Manson, Isau, Manchu, Clerk, Maskell, Burr, Wendt, etc. etc. These scientists are also confirmed that the translocation of the food material can be takes place only through the phloem region and not by the other region. The phloem, we know that it is a food conducting complex tissue and consisting of the different element, and that element are nothing but the sieve element, that is known as the sieve tube. After that, the companion cell. After that, the phloem fiber are also present here in the system. Phloem fiber and phloem parenchyma. Okay, these are some component of the phloem, and through that the translocation of food material can be takes place. In this way, this is the path for translocation of the food material. Next one is the evidence for phloem transport. There are some experiment done there, and with the help of that experiment, it can be proved that phloem is only part from which the translocation of the food material can be takes place. In which, first one is the ringing experiment. Okay, we know that the ringing experiment, it is in the FY syllabus also, FY practical also we done the ringing experiment, and in this experiment, this experiment is performed by the Curtis in 1925, which provide the excellent explanation for solute translocation by the phloem. If the phloem of bark include the phloem is removed, okay, ring of bark, let us see here, only the bark can be removed, bark including phloem, okay, not only bark but bark including phloem. When we removed from the stem of the plant, the downward translocation of the food material stops here. Okay, let us see here. This is the earlier structure when bark and phloem can be removed, and after some time a bludge occurred here. Okay, let us see, and this bludge is nothing but the food material which is stored at the uppermost part of the plant. Okay, in this way it is proved that the food material does not be passed if phloem, because here no phloem tissue is there, so food material only come toward this point and cannot be go in the downward direction. Okay, in this way this experiment is proved that the phloem is responsible for the translocation of food material. Second one is the chemical analysis. Mason and Maskell in 1928 at 234 in cotton shows that the sugar and the organic nitrogen concentration in the leaf that was followed by the bark, that means the phloem. Okay, and their chemical analysis also revealed that the phloem is richer in the carbohydrate and organic nitrogen compound. They take the part of phloem and the chemical analysis of that part can be takes place by them, and in that chemical analysis it is proved that the more amount of carbohydrate can be present in that phloem region. Okay, and it is obviously therefore the solute moves through the phloem, it can be proved. Okay, next one is the evidence from the tracer technique. And this tracer technique, it is Burr and other scientists, they in 1945 they proved this technique, and they provided the isotope of carbon 14 CO2 and to the photosynthetic leaves of bean, and observe that label sugar moves in the phloem. Okay, and this technique has also shown clear that the sugar moves in the sieve element rather than the other element of the phloem. Okay, it is moved from the only sieve element or sieve tubes only. Okay, and this is the another experiment. And last one is the analysis of sap for aphid stylet. Aphid stylet, this technique involve use of a aphid feeding phloem sap of herbaceous plant. They take a aphid and they feed the aphid only the phloem sap by inserting its style into an individual sieve tube, and subsequently analysis of the sap of aphid stylet. This technique was first used by the Kennedy and Mittler in 1953, and they allowed an aphid to insert its stylet into the phloem of the plant. After 2 to 3 hours feeding, aphid was anesthetized in a gentle stream of CO2, and then aphid both was removed by cutting with the sharp blade, leaving served style in situ, and served stylet extended from the phloem to exterior like an insert tube. Further, the sieve tube excluded was collected with a capillary tube, and through that served stylet and analyzed chemically, and it is proved that stylet having a carbohydrate or the food material, and it is proved that because the food material can be sucked by the phloem region only, and it is proved that the phloem is only the part and from which the translocation of food material can be takes place. Okay, in this way these all experiments are proved that the evidences of the phloem transport. In this way, this is about the evidences. Next one is the mechanism of translocation. There are the various theories have been put forth to explain the mechanism of the phloem conduction. For example, protoplasmic streaming theory, transcellular streaming. After that, the contractile protein electroosmotic pressure flow theory, that is known as the Munch hypothesis, and binomial theory, diffusion pressure theory. These are the different theories. They are prove that mechanism of the translocation of the food material. In which first one is the pressure flow theory. It is also known as the Munch hypothesis because this hypothesis was proposed by the Munch in 1930 and elaborated by the Kraft in 1938. According to them, translocation of organic solute takes place through the phloem along a turgor pressure. Okay, and along the turgor pressure gradient, and during photosynthesis the cell sap concentration of the turgor pressure gradient, or it is the concentration of the mesophyll cell is maintained high when which increase the osmotic pressure of that mesophyll cell. Increase osmotic pressure from the mesophyll cell to absorb water, consequently turgor pressure is increases considerably. Okay, as the concentration of the mesophyll cell, let us see here, this is the membrane and this is one cell. This is, for example, this is mesophyll cell. If the concentration of the solute is increases here, they absorb more and more amount of water, and due to more and more amount of water is absorbed, the more turgor pressure or turgor pressure gradient is increases in this limb, okay, or in this side. Okay. Further, sieve tube as well as the mesophyll cell remain interconnected by the small. This is the for example, this is the mesophyll cell. These are the sieve tubes. Okay, and here the sieve tubes as well as the mesophyll cell, they are remain interconnected to the small pore called as the plasmodesmata and form a continuous system, the symplast. Through this, the connection some of the solution is forced into the sieve tube. Okay, when turgor pressure is increases, some liquid is forced into the sieve tube, and the loss of solute from the mesophyll is compensated by newly formed photosynthesis and movement of water from the xylem. And when concentration is down, again more food material can be accumulate here, and again more amount of turgor pressure can be generated in this part. Okay, again the food material can be translocated from the sieve tube. Further, the movement of solute is always from the region of higher concentration to the region of lower concentration. We know that. And further, higher to the region of lower turgor pressure, and Munch hypothesis can be explained very well with the help of simple experiment. And this experiment is, let assume that the A and B or X and Y are osmometer permeable only to the water. Okay, they are permeable only to the water, and these two osmometer are connected by a tube C, okay, containing the water to a closed system, and the osmometer A or X, okay, here X contain the concentrated sugar solution, with B container have only, or Y container only have a water. Okay, in this X container a sugar solution, in Y container or Y jar it is only present the water. The osmometer X contain the, we know that it contain the concentrated sugar. The both osmometer are deep in the water. Okay, further this system is deep into a water. This is the again a jar, and in that jar this system is put deep into the water. After that, the X correspondent to the mesophyll cell in the leaf. It is known as the mesophyll. This part is the mesophyll cell in the leaf and supply end, and B to the root receiving end. This is the roots. This is the mesophyll cell, and this is the root. And tube C, that is the C. It is the sieve tube. Okay, it is the connective tube, and it is known as the sieve tube, and water fill vessel to the xylem vessels. Okay, these are the xylem vessels. This container, this is the xylem vessel. Okay, they are surrounded to both this system. When the chamber X, okay, when this chamber X will be absorb water rapidly, where if the concentration of sugar solution is more, at that time more amount of water is absorbed by this membrane, because due to the osmotic pressure. Okay, and they rapidly, in a large quantity of water is absorbed and result in a high turgor pressure. Okay, therefore the solution will flow in mass from A X to the B via the C tube under the turgor pressure gradient until the solution in both chamber becomes equal. Okay, in this way, when due to the more amount of sugar solution, osmotic pressure of X membrane is it is increases, due to that the more amount of water is absorbed in this chamber, and due to that turgor pressure of this chamber is increases. Due to the increases in turgor pressure, the solution or the organic sugar solution which is present in this part, it is transferred through the sieve tube or this tube to the another part in the another membrane. Okay, in this way up to a equilibrium condition is formed. Almost similar mechanism is seen in the plant also, and in this way it is proved that the translocation of the food material can be takes place by the phloem, and through this mechanism it is proved that. Okay, in this way, this is about the Munch hypothesis. There are some objection are there, and in which first one is this theory account only in the unidirectional movement. Okay, it is not a bidirectional, it is only unidirectional movement. Bidirectional movement of solute is impossible in pressure flow theory. It is another objection. Osmotic pressure supply and the consumption end do not always assure the positive gradient. Okay, osmotic pressure does not, it is supply or consumption end do not always having the positive gradient in them. So translocation, there is a problem. And next one is the rate of movement of water and solute should be similar. Okay, rate of movement of water and solute should be similar, but actually they are different in real condition. This is another objection. And last one is the vacuole of the adjacent sieve tube cell are not continuous. Okay, these are some objection of Munch hypothesis, and this is all for this lecture. Further part we are discuss in another lecture. Thank you very much.